2 Super Bowls as a backup with the Patriots. Both QBs have been pointed to as their respective teams' weak spots. So, Shannon, who is more likely to be the reason his team loses this game? Are you going Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins?
Skip, this is really tough because these offenses mirror each other. Both of these guys, I know Kurt Stefanski is the offensive coordinator, but this is a Gary Kubiak's offense. He's the chief offensive assistant, and he cut his teeth under Mike Shanahan. Well, Kyle Shanahan happens to be Mike Shanahan's son, and this is where he learned. So both of these teams, we saw what the Vikings were able to do last week. They took a lot of pressure off of Kirk Cousins because they were able to run the football with Dalvin Cook. That's what San Francisco wants to do. And I said this earlier, Skip. I've always felt that if San Francisco got upset in the playoffs, it was because of Jimmy G and his propensity to turn the football over. And so that's why I'm going with him. But I believe they're going to try to do the same on both sides, minimize the quarterback putting us in harm's way by being able to run the football. One team is more running back by committee. The 49ers, they have a 3-headed monster, and they don't have a problem. Whoever has the hot hand, they'll stick with him. For most part, Skip, this is Dalvin Cook-led offense, especially with running the football. But Jimmy G, at times, Skip, we've seen him have those stinkers where you're like, bruh, you got a defense that get you the ball back. You got wide receivers, running back, yada, yada, and you doing this? Because he's had some games that leave you scratching your head like, I don't know what he was thinking on that one.
Well, that's why it left me scratching my head that Bill Belichick wanted to go forward with Jimmy G over Tom Brady.
And you know what he said? Hey, Bob, you see who got the number 1 seed in the West? Yeah, you F this one up, buddy.
Yeah, the guy nobody trusts, including the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, who just said he's the biggest X factor in this game.
He is. But with that being said, I'm taking the 49ers at home. I just trust them at home that Kyle would do a great job of coming up with the run scheme and designs that will not put Jimmy G in harm's way. It's going to be very important for them not not fall behind and let that pass rush pin their ears back and get after Jimmy G. I think it's going to be a close ball game, Skip. Minnesota's good. Old Kinfolk Kirk.
Yeah.
Skip, he got that. I believe he's playing with house money. I hate using this term because once you get the money, you lose it back. It ain't no house money. It was your money. But he got that monkey off his back. Jimmy G has yet to prove that he can win a playoff game, even though he's making the same amount of money or very comparable money to Cousins. But I'm going to go San Francisco in a close ball game. I'm going to say 31-27.
31-27. So you just told me that it's much more likely that Jimmy Garoppolo makes the game-losing mistake than Kirk Cousins, yet you're picking Jimmy G's team to win the game.
They're more likely, but he not going to do it.
I don't really appreciate that.
My bad.
What are you going to do?
My bad, Jimmy.
Well, then you really won't appreciate what I'm about to say because
I figured that.
I still do not trust Kirk Cousins. He is what he always was. He is an underconfident overachiever. How many times have I told you that? He's still that same guy who was 0 for 7 in overtime games until this last, was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday at New Orleans. 1 for 8 now in overtime. And what did I tell you happened in that game? There were no expectations. You always tell me, what is the biggest killer in sports? Expectations. I thought that the Vikings would get blown out at New Orleans. I think you thought they would get shellacked at New Orleans. Am I right?
Yep.
I thought it was going to be a complete wipeout, and early on, especially after an early fumble by your one of your best receivers, Thielen.
Yeah.
I thought, the floodgates are about to open and the roof is about to fall in on the visiting team. And instead, Drew Brees played, by his standards, a pretty lousy football team, and he became the reason that the Saints lost a home game. And when you least expected it, no expectations, Kirk Cousins closed his eyes and threw a rainbow down the chimney, I'm combining lots of analogies here, to Adam Thielen for a huge completion.
Skip, I believe that was a mistake because if you look at it, Adam Thielen is running the 7 route. The DB is looking like I got to get to his outside hip because he's going to run the corner. And he drops it down the chimney. The safety's in the hole. So theoretically, he's supposed to throw that ball to the sideline.
That is
true.
true.
Now, why he threw it like that, hey, maybe he knows something that I didn't.
But every once in a while, you accidentally catch lightning in a bottle, and he caught it. because it was a great throw, maybe by accident,
Yes.
but it was a great throw. And I got to give him the little fade route to Rudolph because it was a really good throw.
Yes.
We went back and forth about whether it was offensive pass interference. I wouldn't have called it, but the throw was on the money. Not easy to do, but no expectations. Now they're going to run into a force out in the Bay Area. A team that's at home, has been dominating at home for the most part, and I think they're going to dominate in this game because I think it's going to be a wipeout, but I thought, again, the game at New Orleans was. But what has changed for Kirk Cousins is that everybody jumped back on the bandwagon, including my partner across the table, who's now calling him First Cousins again, right?
Kinfolk Kirk.
Kinfolk Kirk, okay? Kinfolk Kirk now has had to go through a whole week of hearing how great he can be.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he actually won his first playoff game. And now a lot of people, including the one to my right, think, oh, he could do it again.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Still no pressure.
Because Jimmy G, boy, he's the X factor for the other team, and he might just mess it up, right? I think Kirk Cousins will mess this up. I think Kirk Cousins will throw at least 2 interceptions, and I'll go 1 sack fumble because he's going to be under fire.
Whew.
Under fire.
Well, he ain't messing up. He's stinking it up.
Okay, he will stink it up then. I just don't trust him, and that was an aberration game at New Orleans. I didn't see it coming because Kirk Cousins didn't see it coming.
But you didn't see him doing what he did to Dallas coming, and he outshined your guy.
He did not outshine my guy. Go look at what happened. My guy started at his 11-yard line and went all the way, bing, 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 all completions all the way down to the 12-yard line. And it was 2nd and 2 from the, actually 11, 2nd and 2 from the 11-yard line after like 8 straight completions, and they put the game in Zeke's hands, and you know the rest of the story.
But see, your guy couldn't get the ball in the red zone, and on Kinfolk, marching in.
Well, that was the first and the last time that will happen. So I'm not.
Oh, y'all got him again. Y'all think y'all go there next year, though?
Yeah.
I think y'all go there next year.
We'll get him.
No, you won't.
We got the guy who's dominated them in the division, Mike McCarthy. Oh, Mike Mack is on my team now.
Okay, Mike Mack.
Yeah.
got
We got
new
Mike
nickname.
Mack.
Now
He owned the purple when he was in the green and gold.
Well, y'all had the better quarterback skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for nothing, guys. You
y'all had
picked
better-
Jimmy G, and you still picked the.
Yeah, I don't
to
quite
lose
get
it,
the
and then you have
rationale
no-
there.
He's
The
more
logic.
apt, but this time I think.
No one wanted to help me out here. I was just not going to be a factor. No, if Thielen is reportedly available, that is a big difference because he suffered a freak ankle injury.
How do you cut your
Wednesday.
ankle at practice?
Maybe he got spiked.
Gotta be something like that.
That's the only thing I can think. Or
Spiked?
yeah, I mean the only time I've seen
Nobody
guys get
wears
spiked.
spikes at
No, I'm
practice.
just saying no cleated. Or I've seen guys cut tape off their ankle, Skip,
Oh,
Now, maybe that could happen.
and
definitely
open up a
happen.
gash.
Well,
Now, I've seen that happen.
calling it a freak ankle injury, and that
Okay.
sounds about right. Oh, well, let's just be hopeful
Unless-
he's good to go.
Heaven forbid, I'm not going to wood. He fell down the stairs at home, and they're saying it was some freak
That's
accident.
odd. They've won 5 straight with Thielen and Cook healthy and available, so let's just go that route, and I don't appreciate anything that you guys said.